So, okay, this is not the way I want to do this because I could teach you guys how to do this all the time. I want to know somebody who wanted to know something to do with 1. I believe it was Benji. Benji, what is the first thing you want to do here? Just tell me something you want to do with exponents and we'll work through it. But dude, if there's say there's 10 steps to this, you got to take a first step. So you can't say I just want to see the whole thing.
How do I get it? The bottom.
You want to deal with the denominator. Okay, so let's just deal with the denominator. All right, which part of the denominator do you wish to deal with? The yellow part or the green part? The yellow part? Okay. Since those both have negative exponents, they can't be there. So where do they go? To the top. So you're going to have negative x to the negative 1, right? But not negative x, right? It's negative x to the negative 1. So that's going to become negative x to the 1, right? And I know it just disappeared. I'm fixing it.
Technical difficulties. You guys still recording? Yes, right, it is.
Huh?
You said it. Is it still recording?
Yes, it won't stop recording. The connection to the projector is what's gone. But the projector turned off. Uh-oh. That's bad.
Hey, no one say that word. No one say the word where you start a camera. Please. Start? No word. Stop. Okay, stop.
Action.
I think he means action.
No, not that. It starts with an R. Because it activates the... Record. Yes, don't say it.
Do you have a joke?
Hey, it's for a project, okay? Don't worry about it.
It's a project on important and inspirational adults in the building. So that's why he's brought it to this class.
No, mine was ex-convicts. That's why you were...
Nothing's ever stuck.
It doesn't work like that. Stop it. Okay, I won't do that. Because someone said, like...
Yeah, this is too much coffee.
That is a lot of coffee. I don't know what it means either. I'm a little bit concerned. Because right now it's supposed to be working. Is it blue? Ta-da! Magic. Okay. And this y right here will come up and become y squared, yeah? Now, already up there, I've got a negative x squared, yeah? So I've already got a negative x squared and a y to the 4th. So what am I going to do there? A negative 1 times negative 1 becomes what? Negative 1 times negative 1 becomes what? Positive 1. So the negatives are taken care of, yes? Okay. Now, x to the 1, x squared. What's that? X cubed, yeah? And y squared and y to the 4th is y to the 6th. All right, cool. Now let's deal with the green side, right? What does that negative do to its whole base? I could distribute it in, right? Okay, so that would get me 2 to the negative 4, right? X to the negative 20, yeah? And y to the negative 20, yeah? Are any of those negative exponents allowed? No, so where does that go? To the top. 2 to the 4th is actually 16, of course, right? Okay. X to the 20 goes up here. X 20. But I already had 3 of them, so now how many do I have? 23 of them. Right? And then these come up. Y to the positive 20. But I already had 6 of them, so how many do I have? 26. Done. Okay? I can't stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we did a ton of these. You know how add, subtract, multiply, and divide is the basis of all the math you've done since kindergarten? Exponent laws are the add, subtract, multiply, and divide of higher math. Do you all understand what I'm saying? You need to be as able and as comfortable with exponents as you are with add, subtract, multiply, and divide if you plan on going forward. And you all have to go forward at least one more step on the higher maths journey. Because you've got at least math 11 in front of you still. Okay? Whatever 11 you choose.
Well, you don't have to take math 12.
No. No.
To graduate, you only need
But you have to take English 12.
Yes. Why? Yeah, why would we ever need to communicate? That's dumb.
We have computers. We did it first.
Oh, thank goodness we have computers. Because that's never gone bad. The Matrix, Terminator. We should definitely make sure we have artificial intelligence. It's a really good idea. No, we do not have artificial intelligence. You know how I know we don't have real artificial intelligence? Because what would be the first thing artificial intelligence would do? Kill humans. End of discussion. Yes, because artificial intelligence doesn't have to waste time with emotion. How many planets do we have, Lalith? What are we doing to it? We're destroying it. What do you do to pests? What do you do to rats? What do you do to bugs? What do you do? You poison them and kill them so they no longer destroy your environment, yes?
Okay, so
So-
what you're saying is to solve global warming, you just build something to kill all.
To solve global warming, the easiest thing to do would be exterminate humans. The planet will live forever until the sun goes supernova in 5 billion years.
We don't know if the sun will go supernova.
Yes, we do know the sun will go supernova.
So yes, we know the sun will go supernova. Obviously, it's going to go supernova.
You're right. The sun will become a red giant. Then it could go in two ways. It might become a white dwarf or it might become a supernova. Either way, it's 5 billion years from now.
Or we get swallowed into.
But we will get swallowed into it. When the sun expands to red giant size, it will take up the whole solar system. There will be nothing left.
Dude, Pluto will be able to
Pluto's not...
eat.
Pluto, don't worry about it.
It's not a super.
All of a sudden, Pluto, it's a beach town. Yeah! Hang loose in Pluto. Wait, east side. Pluto's out there. There's no east and west in space.
There's only.
Anyways, that's how I know we don't have true artificial intelligence. We have artificial intelligence that can win Jeopardy tournaments and artificial intelligence that can play Go. That's not real artificial intelligence.
That's something trying something over and over.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. It's not artificial intelligence.
It doesn't have like an actual motive.
So you're saying that my Google Home is not intelligent?
No, I'm not. And the misnomer of smartphone, ironically making people stupider, is,
Are you telling me
Jupiter,
that
yeah.
you're trying to poison me?
Hmm?
Are you trying to tell me that you're trying to poison me?
No, it's not. But I did read an interesting book where Siri has evolved a little into a device that people wear in their ear. And that's their phone. And it does their email, everything, right in your ear. Like an ear pod, but you don't have the phone, right? Tiny. You don't even see it. Like a hearing aid. Like old people hearing aids. It's just in there. And of course, some other company steals it and builds knockoffs. And the knockoffs still have artificial intelligence, but it's not at the same level. So the knockoff was telling people who were feeling sad, well, you're sad, why don't you just kill yourself? So people were doing it, right? You hate that guy? Why don't you just put a knife in his eye? And that was the premise of the book, right? All these people that bought the knockoffs, thinking they were the real thing, were going crazy because the thing was telling them to do that stuff.
I mean,
It was a good book. It was called The Glitch. Quite a glitch. Anyways, number 2. Do I have to do number 2? Do I have to do number 2? Do I have to do number 2?
It would be nice. Why do you think AI will kill people?
Huh?
Why do you think AI will just start?
You literally
Because the only point of intelligence is to propagate itself, Roy. And you cannot propagate yourself if there's no environment in which to propagate. Humans are going to destroy the world. Our AI needs power to survive. If there's no until they figure out a way to run their own show. Now, can we do math now, please? I'm never going to agree with you because you're wrong. So, okay. No, of course they can't be, but nor is your existence provable. Yet you're here, so we move on, right? Schrodinger's cat is dead and alive, okay? That's it. There's no way around it. It's dead and it's alive. Never mind. No, because once you open the box, you're measuring, and when you measure anything, you change the results. That's why you can't truly observe anything. Can we get back to math? Sure. Negative x to the 16th, but because it's a negative in the brackets with a positive, an even exponent, it is x to the 16th, y to the negative 16th, over 2 times 2 is negative 4, x times x to the negative 4 is x to the negative 3, y to the 6th. What there has to move? The x to the negative 3 has to move up to become x to the 19. The negative 16 has to move down to become y to the 22nd. And the negative 4 goes nowhere because it doesn't have a negative exponent. Bases can be negative. Benji.
Why, at the very start, why isn't it x negative x to the 16?
Because negative x is inside the base, right? So it's negative x times negative x times negative x times negative x, right? What's negative times a negative? Times a negative? Times a negative? Positive. Okay? Gideon.
I actually have a question. Why do I can understand for simplicity's sake, why are negative exponents so evil or have to be immediately dispatched of in
Because they don't exist.
science? You can use I thought you can use negative exponents in science to create it just goes the opposite way. Like
That's what we're doing. We're reciprocating them.
But what I mean is, I forgot what the term is called, but when you want to size something up, like really, really big or really, really small. Scale?
You don't use negative yeah, you do. Okay? If we are talking the distance between here and Pluto, it would be in scientific notation with the power.
That's what it's called.
Right?
But you can do negative science.
Yes, of course you can. Because if you are shrinking it down, it is 1 over 10 to the 36. So it is 1 over 10 with 36 zeros. Small.
Okay.
It's still a positive number. It's just been divided by, or it's just dividing 1. Okay?
Yeah, I've seen people put negative in the exponents.
Yes, because it's easier to write. It's not right.
Oh, okay.
It's not the actual value. Number 3. Somebody actually asked about number 3. I would take care of the top. That would be not in highlighter. That would be n to the negative 20, m to the negative 25, n to the 15. Then I would see negative 20 and 15. I would see that becomes n to the negative 5 over negative n m to the negative 2. What has to move? Everything with a negative. So m squared goes up, m to the 25 comes down, n to the 5th comes down, and the whole thing is negative because of that. They are going to cancel, leaving me with 1, and that is going to be 23.
Yeah.
I agree.
Me too.
Roman.
Wouldn't writing n first be okay?
What do you mean writing? Yes, of course, yes. But like I said yesterday in polynomial multiplication, we usually like to put things in alphabetical order. I have not done it on this test, on this assignment, to mess with your heads. So you actually have to pay attention. That's the only reason. Hatisha, you wanted number 4, didn't you? Okay. Or, yeah, it was 4 or 5. 5? I'm skipping 4. 5. So, again, I would take care of this first. because that, since it has a negative exponent, is just moving up to the top. The whole thing. So I'm going to have x, y to the negative 4, 2x squared y to the 5th, negative 2, x, y cubed to the positive 5. Now I would deal with that 5. X, y to the negative 4, 2x squared y to the 5th, negative 2 to the 5th is negative 32, x to the 5th, y to the 15th. Then I would sort this out, which gives me negative 64. That takes care of the numbers. X squared is x cubed. X to the 5th is x to the 8th. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. 1 plus 15 is y to the 16th. Okay, I can't stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it step by step. Do one thing, fix it up, and then see where that leads you. Don't look at the whole thing and try going crazy and doing 4 or 5 different things at once. Do one thing and fix it. Okay? Anything else? Come back to here. Anything else? What? Which one, Jayden?
Number
10.
Oh, can we see number 8 too?
8.
Oh, I want to see what your
All right. Again. Okay. Mia, you're 8. What would you do first? Choose one thing to do.
Get rid of the brackets at the top.
So you'd get rid of this. So you want to distribute that in now, or do you want to move it down there because it's got a negative?
I did it at the top first.
Okay, so you're going to have 2 to the negative 2, m to the negative 6, n to the negative 8. Now what would you do?
Bring it down.
See, I wouldn't bring it down yet. I would sort out the bottom because you've got 2 n's down here. But you want to bring down everything that's negative?
No, I did what you did first.
Okay, so your denominator now is m to the 5th n minus 1. Now you would move every negative exponent?
Yeah.
Okay, so this 2 to the negative 2 is going to come down here and become 2 to the positive 2. This m to the negative 6 is going to come down here and be m to the 6th, but I already add an m to the 5 down there. This n to the negative 8 is going to come down and become n to the positive 8, but add an n to the negative 1 there, so it's got to go up and become n to the positive 1. Now I combine. 2 squared is 4. 6 plus 5 is m to the 11th. 1 n up top, 8 on the bottom. It disappears. How many of them disappear? 1 of them. N to the 7th. And can I have 0 up top? No, because what's the number that's always up there that we don't write? 1. And there's your answer. Lalith, I believe you asked for 9.
Yes.
What do you want to do first?
I want to collect the like terms in the bracket.
So you want to deal with that.
Yes.
Not the cube yet, just that.
Yes.
Cool. So we're going to rewrite. Because we always show all our work, then it's real hard to miss a step. Negative 2 times positive 2 times negative 2 is what?
Positive 8.
Positive 8. That's the numbers. U squared, u to the 5th, u cubed is u to the 10th. V squared, v, and v cubed is v to the
Power 6.
6. And all of that is cubed. Now what do you want to do?
Distribute the 3.
You're going to deal with the 3, so you're going to rewrite because you're not lazy and you don't want to make a mistake. 8 cubed is 512. U to the 30th, v to the 18th. Now what?
We have to
Tag someone in.
Bring the negative down.
I would bring that down there. V to the 4th over 512 u squared, because it moved, u 30th v18. Now what? Ethan.
So add the u and the u squared and the u
u32 v18. Now what? I would cancel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
4 v's up there, they're all gone, leaving me with 1. How many of those are gone? Leaving me with, not negative, 14. Right? Now, this is why you have trouble with exponents. Because your grade 9 teacher showed you this law this way. Just like I did, right? X to the m minus n. Right? And the example that your grade 9 teacher gave you would have left you with a positive value, yes? Now, some of you said you didn't do negative exponents in grade 9, right? Some of you did, right? But if you did not do them, you think this is the way it's always going to work. But what happens when I change it to this? You say, oh, I subtract x to the negative 4. And then you learn this here, oh, that can't exist, right? It has to be 1 over x to the positive 4, right? But what messes you up is when you see it written this way, and you have x to the 4 over x to the 10th. You do 4 minus 10 to get negative 6, right? And then you say, oh, okay, well, that's negative 6. Oh, and there's extra ones on the bottom, so it must move up to the top, so it must be x to the positive 6. That's not the case. And the mistake lies in ever showing you this, instead of doing what I did, which was showing you written this way. Cancel, cancel. Now you're left with 1. Reverse that. X, x, x over x, 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 x. Cancel, cancel, and you're left with 1 in the denominator. All right? If you refuse to learn the canceling and you insist on doing subtraction like the law, you have to remember that when you do this subtraction, you are getting the number in the numerator. And then you will have to move it again. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Because this, v to the 4th divided by v to the 18th, gets me v to the negative 14. Then it's got to move. All right? Everybody cool? Okay. Somebody asked for 10, I think. Whoever asked for 10, while I'm erasing, what did you want to start with? So you dealt with the bottom first. So you had negative a cubed b to the negative 2 times negative 2 a to the 5th b to the 4th times negative 2 b to the 5th over negative 32 a to the 25th. Then what? So you went up to the top. You had negative 1 times negative 2 times negative 2 is what? What's negative 1 times negative 2 times positive 4, yes? Okay. So you had 4 up top. A3, A5, A8. B negative 2, B4 is positive 2. Plus 5 more is b to the 7th, yes? Over negative 32, a to the 25th. Now what? Pretend that you were in Mrs. Bad Crumble's class and she gave you that. What would you do with that? You would hand that fraction in to your grade 5 math teacher? You would hand that question in to your elementary math teacher. You would? How many people would hand that in to their grade 5 math teacher? Or grade 6, or grade 3, or grade 4, wherever you learn fractions? What should you do to every single fraction? Simplify. How many 4s go into 4? 1. How many 4s go into 32? 8. So you had 1 over negative 8. 8 up there, 25 down there. Where did the 8 disappear from? The 8 disappear up there, and that becomes 17. Any other b's anywhere? No. Do I write 1 times b? The only time we write 1 in the numerator is when it's the only thing in the numerator. So it gives us b to the 7th over negative 8a to the 17th. Now the answer probably has the negative in the middle, would be my guess. No, it doesn't. It says it's positive. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Oh, yeah. That negative should have stayed up there and then canceled. I don't know where I went wrong there. Negative. Oh, duh, because negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, and then there's a negative there. It should have been negative 4 over negative 32. Sorry. Are we good? Okay. Let's do a quiz. Yeah, we are.
I think we're not doing it today.
Even if you did it today or don't do it today, does it affect you in any way?
No, not really.
No. What is the goal of the quiz? To show you what you need to be able to do with no pressure. Do you get to keep the quizzes?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
You mark them and give them back?
No, we will mark them together. Because they aren't worth anything. If you lie and say, oh, I got 10 out of 10, Mr. Myers, on every quiz, and then I give you a test and you get 1 out of 80, what has that done for our relationship?
It's really just...
Made it worse.
Right. Because if we don't have trust between us, what do we have? Nothing. Take 1, pass it back. When it gets to Charlotte, she will pass it to Gerline, who will pass them forward. I know it's hard. High school kids have never been able to do this successfully. Every time I say, take 1, pass it along, like it's something new. And then the extras end up right here. Whoop, whoop. Uh-huh. But we shall see.
Did we get it?
No, because yours are going to come over from Gideon to Locke, and he's going to pass them forward. Now, next quiz, I'll start here, so you get them first. And they can go to the back. But then Jayden's going to be like, do I pass it to Alyssa or do I pass it over to I don't know. That's not really how your voice sounds to me, Jayden. All of you sound like Matthew McConaughey in Forward, dude. Forward. See? Complicated. Yes, you start. Put your name on it. The first 5 are multiple choice.
What was this one you thought you were talking about?
No, that is...
Kind of looks like when you're in iMovie and you try to use the version.
can't remember the name of that font. I will tell you in a moment while you write. Blech! Can you do the little trick here?
No, because there's a coefficient.
What if I drew it this way, Lalith? Now could you do the little trick?
Yes.
Okay, so what would it be? X squared.
X squared.
2 minus 2 is 0.
Yes.
And then minus 4, yes?
Yes.
Well, what's y times y?
Y squared.
Y squared. So you could do the little trick.
Big brain.
I'm glad this room is so full of big brains. This one, always, there is somebody in the room that has written this. X squared minus 16. Who's that person?
That's me.
Only 2?
Oh, I wrote
3? Be honest. 4, 5, 6. Be honest. There is more than 6 of you, you liars. Quiet, Wyatt. Why is it not that? But Mr. Myers, you distributed in.
Is symbolically spent.
What's that?
On minus.
Minus sign. What is the base in D?
4.
No.
Minus 4.
No.
2.
X minus 4. Because brackets hold it all together. So what does this mean? It means x minus 4 squared.
Oh.
So it is x squared minus 8x plus 16. Right? Right. Don't worry, that's way better than telling me that this equals 6.
Okay.
Nobody's done that yet. It will happen. Before the end of the year, somebody will do it. Hopefully it will be Wyatt. Just kidding. Uh-oh. Mr. Myers, you totally didn't show us this. Except I did, right? Because this is just what is wrong with saying FOIL. Why can't I say FOIL here? Because there's more stuff than first, outside, inside, last. But what can I say? I can distribute, which is what is really happening. So what happens with the 2? It distributes all the way through. What happens with the negative y? It distributes all the way through. And then what will I do? I will collect my like terms. If you are bad at doing this in your head, as always, write it out. 2y squared minus 8y plus 2. New term, new line. Negative y cubed. I don't see any of their y cubed, so I'm going to write it out by itself. Negative y times negative 4 is positive 4y squared. Negative y times 1 is negative y. And when I line it up vertically, it becomes real easy to collect my like terms. Many of you were taught to do distribution, and you were taught to leave it in a line like this, and then you're drawing triangles around the squareds, you're drawing circles around the y's, you're drawing octagons around the 2's. What the hell?
Those squares.
Stack them, and then they're all nicely grouped for you. Negative y cubed, 2 plus 4, 6y squared. Negative 8 minus 1, negative 9y. 2 plus 0, 2. Have a good weekend. You guys worked so hard this week. Take the next 2 days off. How many of you did D wrong? A lot of you, which means a lot of you wrote x cubed minus 27 there. Fix it.